Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into the most difficult part this morning of the NBA starting lineups. Just looking to see what we can do on a daily basis. Let's actually start here on Roto Grinders as a beginner kind of tutorial. What I did was I looked at yesterday's Wednesday slate so that you can see what the starting lineups look like for a particular team, as far as what they actually put out there. And of course there are variations from day to day. Let's interestingly look at and see if there's any teams playing back-to-back for tonight, because that'll kind of help us for the next day. Or it could even be the previous day. We just need to switch it over to today, Thursday. Let's see what we get here. There's a guy: Sacramento, Washington, New York, Charlotte, Indiana, Philly, the Suns, Toronto, Denver, Chicago, Lakers, and OKC. So let's take a look at that again from last night. What could happen with this, though, they can give a player a rest. So let's more preferably actually go to a previous day of Tuesday, just so we get an overview that we have to and must confirm our starting lineups. And we want to think about a sixth man to essentially get the best general optimal lineup in there. So let's say for Denver, we've got at the guards Murray, Beasley, 3 guards in there, looks like maybe. Millsap, Jokic. All right, so this guy named Craig, I never really heard of him, familiar or not familiar with him. So, but the bench, as always, you got Will Barton, probably the best. Looks like they are listing the best bench player at the top, which kind of helps us right there. Okay, so let's see if these same guys are potentially in the lineup for today. So for Thursday, it's a small slate. Okay, we've got Denver right here. Once again, Murray, Harris, Craig, Millsap, Jokic, and Barton, the top 6 guys. So we want to keep that in mind as we look at also here, conveniently, they show us right in the middle of this matchup between Chicago and Denver, the point total, 212.5, which is really, compared to, some of the other game point totals, low. So there we know we don't want to expect to get too many or have to get too many players, even though usually this is kind of a pace-up game, as Denver can run. Maybe Chicago will slow them down. Maybe that's what Vegas figures. Maybe this will change and go up, so you can watch out, of course, if you want, throughout the day. Of course, this starting lineup is not released to confirm. So we want to go over here, back over to this article I was originally at, because if they put this out daily, I'm not quite sure, but they do, give daily advice, like especially the NBA, because it's a popular play on many sites to try to give advice on. He has core strategies, because there are superstars many times, for example, in this slate, such as your main guys that are easy to play. You can always depend on them, Anthony Davis and the stud of Harden. So you can look at, your core plays, and these are the type of plays that you're getting, such as a couple guys from Brooklyn, a few guys perhaps, and fitting them into your lineup, as core plays as well to help you fit, and those are based off of 6, man guys. Now with the optimizer, you come here and you look at, there's a number of things to look at here on this site, a lot of tools, some newer things such as a simulation model, and there's a breaking news feed, of course, which you essentially very importantly need to get your player updates as far as who's playing and who's starting, who's not, so forth. So a lot of these variables will matter. Like if you ever done or looked into computer programming, and you put in a code, if this happens and this strategy would be carried out, or action required by the program. So this is what you need to do and think about going into, even leading up to the minutes before the tip-off or whatever time on the slate. So then you really got to do your research station first. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll show you some things about it in the next video, so you can get some deeper research into perhaps maybe some tournament plays. But for cash, You can pretty much look at the core value plays and go with those and decide upon who you like. But you can go to the domination station, and let's check this out. See how it looks on a tablet form right now. You can pick whatever site you want, your sport, as this part is pretty easy. The main, if you're playing on the main, of course, you see the 6 games right there, 5 games actually, so that's all there is. You press submit. You got whatever core players you decide to go with. Then perhaps you want to figure that out right here, of course. Let's say for today, Murray could be good as a good core play perhaps. So you can like him and just click on the proper emoji and see what you can do with that. If you want to search for that player we talked about, his name slipped my mind. Let's see. For Denver, Barton as well. Maybe you can stack those guys together and do something with those guys. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Barton. You can type him in. Okay. See, make sure he comes up. Here you go. You can like him as well. All right. So you got a couple players watched as you need, and you submit to optimize, see what comes up. It'll give you a few lineups, has a few choices and options, and it included those guys, I think. At least in this one here, we got Harris at the small forward. Okay, that's good. And we got over here, didn't include either of our guys there, so that's one option, as maybe best to optimize that way. And this last lineup right here, it did give me Will Barton as a small forward, so it gave me a lineup, but it didn't put them together because that's not optimal for cash game plays. You can read about on my site or the DFS Army site. I'll leave a link to that, to the Domination Station or the articles, the general articles section, so you can get that, and also go to wealthyfantasyfootball.com and to look at my basic for the beginners and getting your DFS lineup basketball stuff together, so you can get out there and begin playing and think of it as an invest of your money. So